Welcome. This is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. After being inspired by some of the submissions from the Techniquilter Masters group, I decided to create a very simple 2-block quilt using BlockBase Plus and Electric Quilt. You'll be given an opportunity to use my technique, but not necessarily my blocks, to create your own birthday 2-block quilt. In the home screen of Electric Quilt, select Search for Block Patterns. Under the EQ block library, scroll down, and if you have BlockBase or BlockBase Plus, go ahead and click on it and click on the plus. And for this challenge, I made a decision that we would use the 4-patch option, which is 08, and click on the plus next to it. Now we are all going to have different blocks based on our birth date. So I want you to start by selecting your month and then selecting a subcategory based on that month. So for my month, I'm born in March, I'm going to select the category 03, which is 36 squares. Then I want you to take your birth date, and if there are 2 digits, take the first one. So if your first digit's 1, take the first. Mine is 0, so I can't select that, but my second digit is 3. So I'm going to take the 3rd block. For the second block, select either another digit in your date or go back and select the month. Since my birthday is March 3rd, I will select the 3rd block for the first one and then go over another 3 and select the 6th block. Now select both of them with the Control or Command key and select Add to Sketchbook. And close. Then select the quilt work table, and for the first one, select a new quilt, horizontal. Select the Layout tab. Change the number of blocks to 5 by 5. For a 2-block quilt, it is better to have an odd number of rows and columns. Select the Border tab and change the first border to 1.5. Add a second border and change the size to 3 inches. Select the Design tab and select Block Tools Set Block. Scroll and find the added blocks on the right. Select the first block, and with the Alt or Options key, select one of the main block spaces on the quilt. Select the second block, and with the Alt or Options key, select the second space on the quilt. Select Fabric Tools and use the eyedropper to identify a couple of fabrics in the blocks and use those fabrics to color the borders. Add to Project Sketchbook, and then select Randomize, select Map to Fabrics, and click on the quilt. Let's make some changes in coloring so that certain elements will stand out in the quilt. The first thing is I decided I needed an accent color, so I selected a more vibrant pink and recolored the pinwheel in the first block and the square corners in the second block. I then decided to replace the green with a softer pink, and I did that by using the spray can with the Control or Command key and recoloring one of the blocks and the borders. I then decided to swap out the yellow-green patch with a gray. Also turn off the Hide Show Quilt patch lines to get a better visual. And add to the Project Sketchbook. Now for option 2, let's do a new quilt on point. Under the Layout tab, you can keep the number of blocks at 3 by 3. On the Borders tab, change the first border to 1.5 inches, add a second border and change it to 3 inches. Select the Design tab and select Block Tools Set Block. Using the recolored blocks, select the first one and with the Control or Command key, select one of the primary blocks on the quilt, and then select the other recolored block and with the Control or Command key, select the other space. Use the eyedropper to identify two colors and recolor the borders. And hide show quilt patch lines and add this to the project sketchbook. Thanks so much for watching. If you would like to try this technique, select two blocks from any category in BlockBase, or if you're doing this using Electric Quilt, just use the same grid for both of the blocks. For additional tips and techniques, please subscribe to my weekly newsletter at onpointquilter.com.